All right, so we are actually live, both LinkedIn and YouTube. So I'm going to start off with an opener. All right. So hello and welcome, everybody. Um, this is a live LinkedIn session along with a YouTube live as well. We will be going over the value of earned value management and how it's being used in project controls and also using ChatGPT in project controls. So we're going to be diving into the essential topics of how a beginner or somebody transitioning into the project management environment can use these tools to their advantage and to help them not only succeed but give them that extra nudge, not that edge, but that nudge to using these types of tools like ChatGPT. So without further ado, I have on our LinkedIn live session Darian Douglas. He is a junior project manager. He is currently undergoing his PMP exam. I believe you are going to be taking your exam sometime this month. I believe, is that right, Darian?
The next month, so about a month out.
Awesome, awesome. And correct me if I'm wrong. You are also involved with other organizations such as the College of Performance Management, which you are a new member at this
Yes,
time, and you recently went to the professional education program, right?
yes,
Where it touches the fundamentals of EVM.
yeah. So I'll say it's me, the beginner, as you alluded to earlier. Yeah, so just jumping in and kind of getting the background of earned value and how to use it because I have interest in aerospace and I know it's used a lot there, and obviously project management, project controls. So kind of just getting my feet wet in the new field.
And what wanted me to do this LinkedIn live session and this YouTube session is because I'm a I'm a I'm a big fan of EVM, and throughout my time of off hours besides work, I'm trying to create an autonomous earned value management system, mainly where it automates a lot of the deficiencies and the project schedule when it comes to EVM. And I stumbled over a video that Phil Akinwale posted about 12 days ago in regards to EVM and the algorithm within YouTube. So I reached out to you, meaning that you are a new CPM member. So thank you again for doing this with me. Um, so I wanted to just go over how you see ChatGPT um, in your journey as learning earned value management and your PMP journey.
Yeah, so when I was on with Phil, he talked about ChatGPT and just learning earned value in general. And it's honestly something I didn't really think about. I mean, I know the tool is powerful and you can use it and it can do almost anything for you. But using it as a learning tool when it comes to new formulas or a new principle that you're putting in actually was like, oh, like that's actually a good idea because I can prompt it to let me know what earned value is to make sure I'm on target with what it does, and also I can prompt it to give me questions so I can also practice. It can correct me, it can do all kind of things. So it's kind of just the tool is what your mind makes of it, and that's very impressive. And it's just like, wow, I didn't think of that. So all these ideas, and we're all going to be professionals very soon
Mhm.
in whatever we want to learn.
And what really stuck out to me is one of my concerns as a growing professional in this environment, especially in EVM and project management. I still consider myself a student in this platform. One of my concerns is that a new uh, uh, colleague will come in and will use this chat GPT for the evil good, or for something to use as something cheating. And what stood out to me was you're using this tool to your advantage for the greater good. And you have reached out to other pioneers of EVM and PMP um, in regards to using the tool wisely. And I do thank you for that, because that was one of my concerns about how AI and these large language models and ChatGPT can be used in the most bad way, in that terms.
Yeah.
So the question I have to you for you is, after exploring ChatGPT with Phil, um, would you say on a scale from 1 to 5, you have a basic understanding of EVM?
Yeah, to the base understanding, I would put it at about a 4 because I'm sure you'll ask something. I'll be like, let me think about that for a second. But no, it tells you. It gave me an actual breakdown of EVM, what everything means as far as variances and indexes, and it just kind of broke it down in layman's terms so you could understand it. And then you can ask for examples, you can ask for a sample problem, so it can give you anything you really need to know to get a basic understanding without actually being in the job and having the experience of kind of going through it and learning that way. It kind of I guess we say prepares you for that.
Awesome. So I'm gonna dive into the the PEP from the College of Performance Management. I know you attended the first track, which was the uh, I don't know on top of my head, have a little brain fart, but it was track 100, and it was the basic fundamentals of earned value management. Was that the first time you stood in a session
The
where?
level, I think it's the 100. I know they have it goes all the way up to 600. So that was the
Yes, yes. Um, were you overwhelmed in that 4 hour session block um, in regards to understanding the concepts of EVM?
No, I really wasn't overwhelmed. I think they broke down the basics very well to start and just kind of letting you know what everything means. I know they had to use some older terminology, but it was different words for the same thing. So it broke it down pretty easily. And then obviously you got to deal with the pioneers. So people have been doing it for a long time. They can give it to you in layman's terms where you can understand it, and then from there you start to see how you apply it in different avenues of work, as we did procurement a lot in that first block. So it's just kind of getting the understanding of it, and then what is it used for.
Right, right. So that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to do this session with you, because attracting not new talent, but attracting individuals like yourselves and myself as students to the platform or EVM or even project management. um, EVM in the industry can be seen as taboo, and I'm hoping someday that that could change in the near future, with individuals like yourselves being interested in learning EVM. My question that I want to ask you is, if you were to play God for one day and use ChatGPT to your capabilities, how would you change earned value management in regards to what's going on today with AI and ChatGPT and stuff?
Wow, that's a good question. That's a lot of power. um, if if I play God, I guess, and just try to keep it into the simplest forms of earned value. To be honest, I would want to make it so it breaks down and scales in a very basic way. That way, because you want to give everyone the power to be able to use the tool and use it
Hmm.
effectively. To have it do it all by itself, to where you don't even need the human person anymore. They're just taking up space. So just to make it system is where I would go with. I wouldn't want to do anything outlandish.
Hmm. Okay. Now, when you're exploring a ChatGPT, what type of questions did you ask it in regards to earned value management and maybe studying for your PMP exam?
So basically, I basically let the tool kind of guide me. So when I first prompted it, I just used it like, give me the basic of earned value, or give me the basic terms of earned value, and from there the tool would kind of break it down. I'm like, okay, now that I can see what everything is, now use it in a scenario. and then it would use it, do the
Mhm.
calculations, and tell you this is ahead of schedule, this is behind schedule based on the calculations. It gives you sample numbers, so it kind of prompts you out a little mini quiz for you to follow. So that's the avenue I was taking it, just to learn and practice and things like that. And you can honestly give it prompts. You can give it sample numbers. I mean, it could, if you had a real earned value problem, it could do it for you. So and you
Mhm.
want to double check it, but yeah, it can go as far as you need it to go, especially from a beginner level.
Gotcha. So tell me more about your journey in regards to the PMP exam, and how you are taking the extra steps to making sure you are passing the PMP exam, and also really mad respect to you for learning EVM um, throughout your journey with your PMP journey, because EVM is another level in the industry. It's not a higher level, but it's a step up, and I really
Yeah.
do give you kudos to you to for you to provide yourself the time to learn such things like EVM and PMP. So with your PMP journey, do you find it that these EVM terms that you just recently discovered from from CPM's PEP course, do you feel it's in the PMBOK guide?
Yes. So actually, it's funny enough how the and 6 months ago you back, I wouldn't know what the pinball guy was. I wouldn't be. I may have heard of the PMP, but I wouldn't really know what it is. But funny working with you and Phil and others, how applicable those pinball guy terms with earned value go to real life. And I remember we were working on the schedule, and I'm like, dang, this is right out the book. Which, I was like, oh, it's gonna be different, but it's like, no, you follow these steps and it puts you right on the right path. So I think the PMP, and the two things I wanted to do is, one, learn the PMP, be able to pass a certification, be able to uh, absorb the information and be able to repeat it back, but also taking that extra step of putting it into a practical world. So it's one
Mhm.
thing learning the information, it's another thing being able to do it and apply it in a real world setting. Because I've heard of people with a PMP, but they don't go farther than that. And you walk in a job, they still don't know what they're doing in their PMP. And Phil preaches, and I know you talk about being proactive in actually embracing those terms. What is cost, scope, and schedule, and how does it apply, and where can I use it, and where does that go in if I'm doing Microsoft project and actually filling out a schedule? How am I working within these constraints? How am I applying this? So I think it all kind of blends, and that's why I wanted to take the next step to learn earn value, because it fits right in there with where I want to go with project controls. So I believe all in all these things working together is just going to better me as a professional and make me more ready for the workforce than somebody who just really focused on exam, learned the terms just by the book, didn't really go practice it, and then was able to pass the test.
Gotcha. So just to sum it up, it sounds like your professional development is really valuable to you, because of you're volunteering for specific organizations like CPM. You're going through courses from them, learning EVM offhand, along with your PMP journey. Um, this it sounds like you are trying to make yourself dangerous in the industry, which is good. Which is really good. It's really good in regards to professional development, how important it is in today's day and age, especially with AI in front of us. Because honestly, with the concerns out there in industry, using this tool can be a good and a bad thing. And I can promise you 99.999%, this can be looked at very bad in regards to cheating or using this tool to the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said when we started the session, I do thank you for taking that extra step to reaching out to people in the industry to teach you how to use ChatGPT instead of going through it as a millennial, which I apologize in advance, to use it to the best that it should be and not being used unethically. And I thank you for that. Um,
We'll
so
say. I was gonna say, yeah, it really comes down to end goal in mind, and that, and with these tools, and like for somebody like me who has a huge interest in aerospace and human exploration, just beyond walking around Earth, it's like, yeah, there really isn't a bad end result, because I feel like that is something that can better everyone's life. That's why I love it so much. That's why I have a passion for that. And these tools is what I would use to say, this is how we get there. If I can manage a project better, then that makes the engineering better, and then maybe we can have ships that go back and forth, or
Hmm.
something that we haven't even thought of yet. So I think just with your end goal in mind, if your end goal is bad, then yeah, the tools can turn and be something dark, or you're just trying to get an advantage on somebody, that can go a lot of dark ways. So I would say just starting with a good end goal and passion for what you do is just the best way, and then find the tools to get you there. And that's what these are doing for me, and probably for anybody else at the college, performance management, or anybody else in professional development.
And part of my journey with this whole AI chat GPT is to automate as much as I can, in regards to using Microsoft Project, Primavera P6, Smartsheets. I know, as we speak, a lot of companies and organizations are looking into that. Put to implement AI into Smartsheets, which, shout out to Project Widgets. I know they're working with Smartsheets to implement some sort of AI, and I know one plan is also doing that too. And they're coming out with an AI tool, for one plan for Microsoft Project. Within my journey, I've been undergoing these case studies of using ChatGPT to teach me stuff, regarding earned value management or Microsoft Project or anything in particular. One thing I recently asked is to help me create a ChatGPT desktop app. And believe it or not, this is what you see on the left side of our screen. This is a desktop app that ChatGPT gave me the steps to actually produce a desktop app for ChatGPT. Um, I'm a project scheduler, by trade, so coding and understanding these terms, I really had to ask ChatGPT critical questions as to how do we do this? How is this code, dissected? Please dissect this code. Please make me understand this code to where I'm a 5-year-old. And it actually did that in my case studies. One thing that I discovered is Microsoft Project VBA codes. I asked it to teach me how to do VBA codes for Microsoft Project, and it worked out well. I made my own little tool set, uh, mainly for Microsoft Project, but I know there's other ways to use ChatGPT, for tools like that.
Yeah.
Um, do you find it that you can use ChatGPT to use it as like a study guide or like a coach for your PMP journey?
Yeah, you can basically you can punch it up to really do anything, especially I feel like it gives you different learning avenues, because certain teachers, they teach in a certain style, and not everybody learns the same way. Usually me, I'm a visual learner. If I see it, I can get it down, or through repetition. ChatGPT allows so many ways to break down information and feed it to you based on what you ask, that yeah, it's a great study tool. If you're not picking something up, it'll give you a different avenue, it'll talk to you in a different way, and you can even prompt it to talk to you in a different way, or show you different tools to help you learn something or develop it, and then even practice it. So I feel like the tooling, you talk about a desktop app, and you were talking a little over my head with the Microsoft project, because I'm not there yet, but I know with ChatGPT and just starting to practice the little steps and the fundamentals that I already have, I can get there, or say, hey, if I was running this schedule, I've run into this problem, what can I do next? And then I can do that next breakthrough. So the tool just opens itself up to be your personal teacher. You just got to learn how to prompt it, which takes a little practice, it takes a little time, but it's worth the effort, because you will get the development.
Awesome. Now, with your session with Phil, Akinwale, with how he teaches earned value management or even influences earned value management using ChatGPT, um, what are your thoughts about that, and how coaches can use ChatGPT to their advantage?
The best thing Phil does is he shows you how to prompt to get your result, and that is really where he sticks. So he ran me through earned value and a basic spreadsheet, and just kind of gave me the basics. I was like, okay, cool, I understand this. And he's like, okay, now let's take it to ChatGPT, and let's say you understand this, but you want to take the next step. This is how you prompt it to keep building on those steps. It's like you got the baseline, and then you take that next step, and then you're like, okay, now I want to take the next step. And ChatGPT is a partner to follow you along those steps as long as you're good at prompting. So obviously the best thing for people to learn is one, how to prompt it. Once you're able to prompt it to get what you want to know, the sky is the limit from there. And ChatGPT can teach you just about anything from the basic level to the top level. You just got to understand those baby steps of prompts.
So it sounds like prompt engineering is important to have in your skill set when using ChatGPT. So, with your time exploring ChatGPT, what type of prompt engineering is that you ask ChatGPT throughout your session with Phil?
Well, Phil had asked, and I want to go like personally to step away just from the project management side, and this can apply to anything. I will ask ChatGPT for different ideas. I also content create, so I will ask them, what is a good thing to make a video about right now? What's very popular right now? If you were a content creator, a professional content creator, what would you do in this certain industry? So I feel like it gives you just the open lane to one, be an advisor, but also be a creator for you. So you don't have to actually do the work. But when working with Phil, we basically ask, explain earned value. And then once we got earned value, it's like, okay, cost variance, schedule
Mhm.
variance, indexes, start to break down those lame terms in that. And I have actually a web page of, or not a web page, a Word document of just definitions that breaks everything down and what it actually means in the project. And then from there, we just kept taking it steps further. So we would ask it, give us a sample project, give us an answer. If you would change this number with this number, what would it
Mhm.
be? How would that affect it? So we just started to play with it and give us different scenarios inside of one project.
So within the video, um, it was done with his ChatGPT, and from my interpretation of ChatGPT is it will only learn from you, as in it will learn your keystrokes, it'll learn it will predict what you're thinking of. It will predict the next word you're going to type out. Um, have you gone into ChatGPT personally and started using ChatGPT?
Yeah. So as I alluded to a minute ago, I the first thing I used ChatGPT for was actually rewriting some of my videos on YouTube so they would not attach, but attract more views. So I started there from a creator's mark, and then I'm like, okay, well, let's see if I want a certain diet. Let's see what it can do. If I have a question, let me see what it says, and then started moving that over to professionally. Like we've talked about it a lot, but rewriting our resume, seeing if it got our resume, can it grade it, and what would it give us the feedback so we can change it
Mhm.
and be a better, I guess, I'll say a better candidate for a certain position. So on the personal level, I played with a lot, especially with resumes lately and changing and updating and seeing what's important, seeing what the industry desires. And it can give you all that information. Like, man, now it's your own recruiter. So so it's such a versatile app, or such a versatile really device and tool that you can take it anywhere. But yeah, I've used it personally, professionally, all over the place.
Awesome, awesome. And with my case study with ChatGPT and trying to plan out a project schedule, ChatGPT is not there yet, to be honest. In a very professional fashion, it could create tables, but it won't be able to create you a project schedule right off Microsoft Project. You would have to dump the information to it, and then it will analyze it. And I found that asking questions to analyzing the schedule, it will actually provide about 80% accuracy from the data you actually imported or copied and pasted into ChatGPT. So it's not the blue pill to project management or EVM, but it's a tool for you to use. And a lot of my mentors out there always tell me to use a tool to your advantage. Always control the tool. Never let the tool control you. So with our last questions. I know we're about 24 or 25 minutes into the session. How would you study for the PMP exam in regards to you being 30 days out in regards to declaring that exam date? If you have this tool now, how would you use it to study for the PMP exam?
Yeah, so right now I'm going through a lot of test prep and getting sample questions. So one, I would take the quizzes that I've gotten questions wrong or something I'm not understanding, and I would plug it into ChatGPT and say, analyze this question, and based on the PMP fundamentals, what would be your answer? And get feedback from that, like it's my own, I guess, answer bank that can actually explain something. So I would definitely use it for that. I would definitely use it to break down terms that I don't quite understand and get a little bit of different variations of what this actually means. You could use it really in a lot of ways, and give me a sample quiz if I've taken something and it gets repetitive, because you take different tests from different websites and it gets a little repetitive. Have it change it up for you and ask you something like, if agile, in an agile way, how would you answer this question? Or in a predictive way, how would you answer this question? So
Mhm.
using all those, because the more practice, and me, I'm in the point where it's like, just give me a bunch of questions. Like if I don't get the question right, it'll help me to know that's where I need to focus on. This gives you an unlimited, unlimited bank of questions and coaching.
That's actually absolutely correct. And one thing that I've went down the rabbit hole is ethically asking ChatGPT to provide me actual questions from the PMP exam. And believe it or not, it told me no. It told me that's unethical, and it's not part of the algorithm, I guess, or asking, getting the answers from those types of questions. So it does put a I guess a wall between you as a user and you using that to be the bad guy in some way,
Yeah.
you know. So that's the reason why I wanted to ask you in regards to your PMP journey and how you're preparing yourself to study for this exam. Um, because I have gone down that rabbit hole asking questions like that. And I really do find it very fascinating how it automatically provides that unethical answer right back at you. And using ChatGPT, I found it that on the second attempt of asking the same question, it actually answered it just as right, just about 95% right when you ask the same question twice. On the third time, it will give you an accurate question, and then it will give you resources or links to where it grabbed it. So really, I'm really happy that that's actually implemented into this tool. One thing that I'm starting to understand that using ChatGPT, sometimes it will create some sort of make believe story, um, especially when you actually copy and paste data. I've went to a point where I pasted a whole project schedule that has like 1,000 days and is a unrealistic schedule. And believe it or not, it gave me a realistic answer, but as far as fact checking it, it was wrong. So the differences between the user and the levels of users, and to point it out, you and I, we're in different levels in this industry. Um, Having the capability to fact check it, especially the answers that it provides you, um, it's really fascinating to see that. But at the same time, I'm hoping in the future that can be regulated in some way. And not to put anybody down or bash anybody, but you can take some sort of question and use it, but then when you're being thrown off as a ad hoc question, that's depending on the tool. So really kudos to you in taking those extra steps, like I said, and then using ChatGPT to learning EVM and your PMP journey.
We'll say, yeah, no, it definitely helps out a lot, and like I said, it gives an unlimited resource in term, and it's just all in preparation. And I think you alluded to a lot of good things. One, you still need to learn your fundamentals. You still need to learn. You got to know how to schedule. You got to know how to catch it when it's wrong, because it's not always right. It,
Mhm.
it will be wrong at times, and you will need the controller. So it's kind of like a little mini assistant for you, but you're still the teacher. You still got to run the class, and then this gives you an encyclopedia of a student to work with you.
Awesome, awesome. So we're about 30 minutes out. So we're about to end this live session. Darren, I do thank you for joining me and sharing some ideas, sharing your experiences, opening up ideas in regards to ChatGPT, your PMP journey, learning EVM. And all I ask is for everybody to take away is use ChatGPT as a guide, not as a tool to cheat. Use it ethically. Use it ethically, and use it only as a guide, not de- don't depend on this tool. um, it's really powerful tool, but at the same time you have to control this tool as you use it. So with that said, everybody, thank you again for joining us, and take care.
Thank you.